Good morning. Welcome to Commerce7 Live. My name is Zach Canfas, and I'm the General Manager at Commerce7. I want to thank all of you for joining us for another year of Commerce7 Live. And I really want to thank those of you who submitted feedback after last year's stream. We've taken your suggestions into account, and as a result, Andrew will not be joining us for this year's presentation. Today, we have over 1,000 people watching this live stream, some of who are staying up really late to watch from Europe, Australia, and South Africa. Some of who are joining us from just down the street in Vancouver at 375 Water Street. Today, we're going to show off some amazing new tools, but before we get to the main event, I want to do a quick recap of 2019 to see if our year was in line with our mission. Our mission as a company is to enable businesses around the world, regardless of size, to succeed by empowering them with the digital tools they need to create customer-centric shopping experiences. 2019 was an amazing year. Wineries using our software were really successful. Wineries using our club tools were able to increase their average club package size by 24.5%. Wineries who migrated from legacy systems to Commerce7 saw huge growth in clubs. In 2019, ecom and mobile traffic was higher than ever. We saw 51.9% of repeat buyers one-click checkout on our platform. Your customers are checking out with their mobile phones more than ever, and mobile is converting higher than ever before on our platform. Wineries using our personalization blocks saw a 16.5 times higher add-to-cart conversion rate compared to standard product pages. With our reservation tools, wineries delivered better customer experiences. Thousands of customers were able to make a reservation online, show up at the tasting room, and frontline staff had all the information about them they needed. They had their lifetime value, their last order date, their favorite wines, everything relevant and important. Customers didn't even have to pull out a credit card to transact. They're able to just focus on the experience. In 2019, we were able to launch a lot of new features. We launched dynamic order tags, holdout locations with FedEx and UPS access points, free destination-based sales tax from Ship Compliant for all of our clients, dynamic groups, a powerful form builder, the slickest EMV hardware for POS transactions, event tickets, an integrated barcode scanner, a receipt printer, a cash drawer, and many other features were built this year. Code was deployed over 10,000 times in 2019, and a total of 1.6 million lines of code were added to the platform. In 2019, our partners were also able to do some great things. Wineglass Marketing built a QuickBooks integration, VinTools deepened their MailChimp integration, Highway 29 Creative built out a shopping feed, BottleVin, SellerPass, Dash, Premier Seller, and Emetry all integrated to our platform. TreeFrog Digital built so many different integrations, and I'm really excited to announce for the first time ever our partnership and integration with WinePulse, formerly Vin Dashboard. WinePulse is a DTC reporting solution that includes over 70 dashboards and analytics reports. You can track your performance of your winery across multiple channels, DTC metrics, your goals, and even against your peers. In 2019 as a company, we also had a lot of success. We are 7 times larger this year than we were last year. We have a large presence in 3 continents with a minor in a 4th. Our partner Slack channel, our website traffic, our team size, support, API calls, everything has all increased this year. So 2019 was a great year, and in 2020 we're starting off strong with a huge update to our club tools. But before we get to what's new, let's hear from Trish Berry, a partner of ours in Australia, to hear her thoughts on the current DTC industry and her thoughts on using Commerce7 this year.
Hello from Sydney, Australia. My name is Trish Berry, and I'm the proud owner and managing director of Mastermind Consulting. For the last 15 years, my team and I have helped wine brands, both large and small across Australia and New Zealand, be able to tell their stories direct to consumer. It's helped us move into different platforms like leveraging social media, looking at email marketing, and thinking about how we build a really strong connection with consumers for the wine brands that we're working with. But the times continue to change, and it means that we need to be very nimble in our approach. The way that we marketed 5 years ago no longer will cut it, which means that we need to raise the bar and think about things differently. Strategies need to evolve and really think about the infrastructure that we have in place as wine brand owners to be able to future-proof our marketing and continue to put the consumer at the center of our communications. We've been exploring many options, and we saw the things that the Commerce7 team were doing with some of the US and the Canadian wine brands, and actually jumped on a plane to go and spend some time with Andrew and the team. We'd had the privilege of working with their team in the past in previous roles, and we're really excited about the consumer-centric approach that the team was developing. Wine clubs were being built very differently. The consumer interface was more engaging, and this gave us a lot of options to be able to think about how we market to the consumer and personalize the options, rather than just pulling something off the shelf in a one-stop fit for all of the brands we were working with. We were thrilled to discover that what we were exploring was actually really exciting, and it brought us back to be able to evaluate some plans and send live platforms like the new website for Home Oak, Swinging Bridge in Orange. We've launched Flowstone in Margaret River, and there's a few other brands that we've been working on in the background that will launch in early 2020. It's exciting times, and what really makes it a unique approach is to be able to use some of the open source technology to plug and play and come up with technology that works for the wine brands that we're working with. Not all of them have large budgets. Not all of them have a huge consumer marketing database. So we have to be smart in the way that we're spending money and make sure that we're delivering value. And some of the Commerce7 options that have been presented by Andrew and the team are very much future-proofing the marketing, allowing us to think about technologies being integrated that we may not have had access to in the past. It's exciting times, and there's a lot to explore. We're really working hard on tailoring the system to work in the Australian and New Zealand market, because there are some nuances that we've discovered that need to be resolved. But we're very encouraged by the early signs that we've had on the platform, and we're looking forward to working with the team in 2020 to give our customers some great solutions to use in their digital marketing.
All right, thank you, Trish. So let's see what's new here. Today, at Commerce7, we have the best club tools available to wineries. Wineries who leave legacy systems and come to Commerce7 see an instant jump in their club. Today, we're doubling down on what we're good at. We've spent the last 6 months figuring out how we could take our club tools even further, and we're really excited to show it to you. We've purchased subscriptions from the top 5 subscription clubs out there. Billion and $100 million businesses in other industries that are setting the bar when it comes to consumer expectations in the subscription economy. We've studied what they're doing, we've taken a lot of inspiration, and we've reinvented our clubs accordingly. We've split our club tools into 3 segments. So we've created a subscription club, we've kept the traditional club, which includes user choice clubs, and we've also added a gift club. So let's take a look at each of these. Starting with the subscription club, let's run through the key features, and then we'll get a demo going. In the subscription club, the customer tailors and personalizes the experience to fit their exact preferences. It's our most customer-centric club yet. So the customer or the member controls the frequency. If they sign up on the 14th of the month and they want to join monthly, they'll always get a shipment on the 14th. As a winery, you create a pool of products, and the system will automatically select items from the pool of products based on the member's unique preferences. If you'd like, you can set some basic rules for each product in the pool. Customer preferences are based on their likes and dislikes. A club member can also have a never send and an always send policy for any given bottle. And all pricing is controlled by coupons and promotions. The customer is automatically notified by email 2 weeks before shipment, 2 days before shipment, and they're also automatically notified of credit card declines. In the credit card decline notification email, members can easily, with one click, be taken to where they can update their credit card. It's really streamlined, really simple. Customers can also add any available product in your e-commerce store to their next club package. Customers can skip a package, so the ability to skip is going to replace our hold feature. Clubs are automatically processed on a daily basis. As a winery, you're notified of any failed packages. As a winery, in an easy-to-navigate way, you can see upcoming shipment and inventory requirements for those shipments. When a customer signs up on the web, they'll automatically get a shipment. I can't tell you how frustrating it was when I signed up for my first wine club just to find out I had just missed the last shipment and I had to wait 5 months before getting my first package. If an associate signs a member up through the POS or admin panel, they can decide when the first shipment starts. So let's get a demo going here. So here I am in the admin panel, and if I go over to clubs, I can click on Add a Club here. On the main screen, I can set the club type to subscription. Upon doing that, you'll be able to set up the default frequency, the frequencies offered, the minimum number of products required, or the minimum order value required. So let's jump into a subscription club that's already set up here. Here you can see the configuration page and my subscription settings. So the default frequency is 3 months. We offer this to customers in intervals of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and 4. When signing up, the member decides their frequency, and at any time they can change their frequency. Each package must have at least 4 products here. That's how I've set it up. On the right-hand side, I see a little reminder about the email communications that are going to go out, and I can see stats on the club, like that there's 3 members in this club here. So let's take a look at one of these email communications. Here's an email reminding the customer of their next shipment. It looks great, it's really simple, and it creates an upsell opportunity. So let's go back to the admin panel here and take a look at the item screen. On the item screen, this is where we add items to the pool of products available for this club. We can have defaults, minimums, and maximum requirements on any product, but in general, you should just leave these all blank. So people in this club have to have 4 items, and in a configuration like this, where we have no defaults and no minimum required products, the system will automatically pick the best 4 wines for a customer based on their unique preferences, their past purchases, and their likes and dislikes. If we had set a minimum on any of these bottles, that bottle would be required in the package. If we had set a default, that bottle would default in the package, but the member would be able to remove it. So let's jump to the member screen here. By default, we see upcoming shipments. We can also see a few other quick menu items here. I can see each of the members and their next process date. So I can see that Andrew will be processed on the 13th, Kate will be processed on the 14th. The system will automatically process these packages on that process date. If there are any errors, they'll show up on the screen, and you as a winery will get an email every day with the status of people being processed and any issues they're having. The final screen here is inventory. Here I can see the inventory I need for upcoming shipments. I can see what's required and what's available. By default, the system will show me the inventory needed for 2 weeks out, but I can change the dates and get more information about the inventory here. So let's go out of the club setup and let's take a look at club memberships. So I'm going to search for Andrew Campus here, and I'll pull up his club membership here. As I scroll down the page, I can see club member information. I can see sign up date, frequency, and the next processing date. Further down the page, I see the customer's preferences and upcoming shipments. In the upcoming shipments, A member can skip a package well in advance, but they cannot put their membership on hold. If I know I'm away in April, I can skip my April shipment without impacting my January shipment. On the preferences, this is what we're using to determine what products should go into the club package. On the right-hand side, we can see customer notes, membership notes, and some wines the customer has liked or disliked. So let's go to the website now and take a look at package editing. From the user choice screen, some of you will note a few differences from what we had previously. We've been working hard with Constellation to get the user choice right, and this is the next version of it. We're allowing you, the winery, to have brief instructions at the top of the page. Just like before, you can clearly see the shipping address and payment details. We've added a big button that shows the current shipment. So if I click this here, this will pop out and I can see what bottles are coming up next. Clicking this will let us see the next shipment. Down the page, we have big displays on the bottles, and they can click on any of these to add that bottle to the next club package here. So we're allowing you to merchandise this page any way you want. A final thing to note here is if I browse the main e-commerce area, the system is smart enough to know I have a shipment coming in 2 weeks, and I can add any bottle from the main e-commerce area to the next club package here. So that's subscription clubs. We're rolling this out to our customer base in pieces throughout the month. You'll start to see updates as early as today, and all of our documentation will be updated accordingly. So for many wineries, our subscription club may be too far out there. So the traditional club is the alternative to that. It's club tools you've always had in Commerce7. It includes user choice club and fixed package clubs. It's basically any club where the winery controls the process date. So let's take a look at changes we're making here. So we're bringing the same emails from the subscription club to the traditional club. By default, when you create a new package, we'll have a 2-week out email, we'll have a 2-day out email, and we'll have an email if the credit card declines. In the credit card decline email, members once again can easily, with one click, be taken to where they can update their credit card. The timing as well as the content of these emails can be changed by the winery. We're bringing the inventory controls from the subscription club to the traditional club. So you can see now your inventory for upcoming packages. Like subscription clubs, we're removing the hold option for traditional clubs. Anyone currently on hold will stay on hold till their expiry date. For everyone else, you can now choose to skip packages. Skip is a lot better than hold. It's something we see in the world's largest clubs outside of wine today. Wineries can enter their next 5 package dates in the system without setting up the package, so customers can skip shipments down the road. If I know I'm going to be traveling in May, I can skip my May package without having to skip or interfere with my February package. We've changed the terminology of ship date to be process date. We've had the fastest processing with the ability to process 1,000 shipments in 90 seconds, and now we're upping that. The system will now automatically process the club. Like subscription clubs, all new packages will have pricing controlled by promos and coupons. On sign up from the web, you as a winery have the option to automatically send the customer the previous package. On sign up from the POS or admin, your frontline staff can now choose to send the customer the previous package. Like subscription clubs, customers can add any available product from the ecom store to their next club package here. So let's take a demo here. So if I go back to the admin panel, we can take a look at an existing package here. On the right-hand side, you'll see the communications being sent out. You can edit the dates, or you can choose to not send these at all. By default, they'll be sent out 2 weeks before the shipment, 2 days before the shipment, as well as if the credit card declines. These are the same emails that get sent out for the subscription club. Below that, you can see upcoming shipments, including the shipment we're on. You can have up to 5 upcoming shipments. This is so that customers can skip a shipment well in advance. If a customer knows they're away in May, they can skip the May package without skipping or interfering with the February package. On the left-hand side, the process date is now the auto process date. Our system is going to automatically process the package at 8 a.m. in your time zone on February 1st. Let's take a look at the items here. There aren't many changes here. All the pricing is now controlled by coupons and promotions. We think this is a lot better. Let's say you have a user choice club. You can now build the correct incentives for people to add more to their cart. The membership screen hasn't changed much either, but we're now changing how issues look. So this is now showing issues much more clearly. And the final screen here is inventory. We've brought the inventory controls from the subscription club back to the traditional club. This lets you know what kind of inventory you need for the package. So let's jump into a membership here. I'm going to click on Jason Andres and take a look at his membership. In these customer cards, we can see some quick details like how long he's been a member, his last shipment date, his total number of shipments, and how much he spent with us. On the right-hand side, we can see customer notes, membership notes, and upcoming shipments. You can no longer put the club membership on hold. If a club member is currently on hold, they'll remain on hold until the expiry date, but for everyone else, you can skip upcoming packages. On the front end, we have the same redesign we developed with the Constellation for the subscription club. And also, like subscription clubs, if you browse the main e-commerce area, the system is smart enough to know that you have an upcoming shipment within 2 weeks, and you can add any product to that next package here. So that's traditional clubs. Like subscription clubs, we're rolling this out to our customer base in pieces throughout the month. You'll start to see updates as early as today. All of our documentation will be updated accordingly. So let's talk about gift clubs. For your members, gifting a club can be difficult. Last Christmas, every employee at Commerce7 was given a club as a Christmas gift, all of them from wineries using legacy club software. As a gifter, it came with a lot of issues. Could we control the limits on the user choice side? How many shipments would we be giving? Who gets the club member benefits? In building our own gift club model, we decided to start off simple. So gift clubs work like traditional clubs, except there's no user choice. It's a set package. Both the gifter and the giftee get membership benefits. So the system actually creates two customers, and they're both attached to the club membership. The gifter can set a limit on the club. So for example, they can buy a 1-year membership and everything else more or less remains the same. So that's gift clubs. Once again, all of these changes are being rolled out this month, and once again, all of our documentation will be updated accordingly. So those are the new updates for the club here. Our current club tools were the leading club tools out there, and we believe these enhancements will make your club even better. So next, I'm going to talk about changes made for our front-end widgets. To put it another way, website and e-commerce changes. Before we get into the website and e-com changes, let's hear from another partner of ours, Simon from Highway 29 Creative, on what kind of e-commerce experience he's able to create on Commerce7.
Hi, I'm Simon Solis-Cohen, founder of Highway 29 Creative. We are a full-service digital and creative marketing agency working specifically with the wine industry. We work with wineries of all sizes located all over the country and the world. Our goal is to work with wineries to create fantastic websites that are not only pretty, but highly functional, and most importantly, help you sell wine. When we approach the design, we're not trying to make something that just looks cool. It has to have specific calls to action, and it has to be functional, and we have to make it easy for customers to buy wine. We love working with Commerce7 because it seamlessly integrates with WordPress, which is our preferred platform to build websites on. When we work in WordPress, we're able to make websites that you, as wineries and clients, are able to easily edit. You're not dependent on us to make a simple change or to change a typo or upload a new photo. We're able to create websites that you have complete control on, and that there's a simple handoff between WordPress and Commerce7. So one of the really fun projects we've been working on this past year with Commerce7 is for a project for tasting merchants. This is an online wine retail website. One of the goals we had was a way to boost sales and get people to add more wine to their cart. Websites need to be more than just pretty, they need to be functional, and we all get it. You need to be able to drive sales with them. So what we developed was a really unique way through the cart drawer on Commerce7 to incentivize customers to buy more wine. We built this really fantastic progress bar, which shows the quantity of bottles of wine in their cart. And so what it's able to do is pull the data from Commerce7, understand the quantity in the cart, and output a graphic accordingly. So we've programmed this to go between 1 and 6 bottles of wine. So every single time you increase the quantity and go from 1 all the way to 6, it spits out a different message of encouragement, a kind of fun saying, and it also pushes the progress bar to the next stage to show people what they have to do to hit that 6-bottle mark. When they get 6 bottles, Tasting Merchants kicks in $1 shipping. And as we all know, shipping incentives are a really great way to increase sales without devaluing and discounting your product. We found that when we put these types of carrots in websites, it drastically increases the average order size and has a fantastic result. Thanks to the way Commerce7's built, ideas like this are possible and so much more. Another really exciting project we've worked on this past year with Commerce7 is the building of our shopping feed app. This app allows you to create a feed of all of the wines and all of the products that you sell on your online store and import it into Google. Once Google has this information, you're able to run shopping ads on their network. So when people are searching for your wines, it shows up at the top of the page in the shopping results. We have found this to be a fantastic way for you to advertise, get your name out there, and more importantly, get the direct-to-consumer sales you need. If you go into the Commerce7 App Store, you can search for our feed, and just with a few clicks, turn it right on, and there you go, it's done. It'll instantly spit out for you a product feed, and you just take that link and import it to Google, and it's all taken care of. We've really enjoyed working with Andrew, Zach, and the entire team at Commerce7 this past year and look forward to an exciting 2020. They've done such a great job of building their platform and innovating, and we can't wait to see what we're all able to create together next year. Please take a look at our website, hwy29creative.com, to check out some of our work and reach out to us if there's a project you'd love to work on together.
All right. Thank you, Simon. The customizations you've added to the Commerce7 cart look great. So let's take a look here at what we've changed with our website and ecom features. Today, Commerce7 has the most customer-centric front-end websites. From our personalization blocks to product merchandising, our current front end is driving more sales than legacy platforms out there. We've doubled down on things that we should be good at, and we leave the CMS to best-in-class companies like WordPress, Craft, or Phase CMS. We talked a lot internally about what websites could be this year. We know that the best online shopping experiences are fast, easy, and personalized. Let's take a look at several areas where we've changed our website to create better online experiences. So first, let's talk about the checkout, which is traditionally a hurdle for online sales, especially on mobile devices and especially for wine. You enter your billing information, your shipping information, your birth date, a lot of fields, not a huge pain on the desktop, but really annoying and tedious on a mobile device, which is where the majority of your web traffic is coming from. So we've done a lot since our inception to make this process easier. Today, if you're a Commerce7 client, over half of your customers shopping on your website will use our one-click checkout. This makes the process easier for existing customers, but what about first-time buyers? They still have to go through the painful checkout process, and while we've streamlined it from what legacy systems are doing, we thought that we could do more. The leading market research on e-commerce is Baymard Research, and in the summer we watched a 1-hour presentation where they took a typical checkout experience and they reduced it down to just 8 fields. We were absolutely amazed, and we wondered if we could replicate this checkout. So let's take a look at some basics here. If we know your zip code, why do we have to ask for a city and state? The overwhelming majority of customers do not use an address line 2, and 30% of shoppers will actually come to a complete stop and often second guess if their address line 1 is correct when they come across an address line 2, so we've hidden it. The overwhelming majority of customers also don't check out with a company. so we've also hidden that field. We contacted Ship Compliant. We spent some time talking with their legal advisors, and we learned a couple of things. Only 4 US states actually require a birth date on the shipping address. Only 9 US states require a billing address. So let's just ask them if they're over 21 instead, and let's remove the birth date unless the state requires it. Nobody likes entering a birth date on their mobile phone anyways. We talked to the payment gateways. At a modern gateway, they're moving away from AVS or address verification systems, and they're looking at new ways of detecting fraud. So we decided to start doing that as well behind the scenes. We also realized that we could remove the name on the credit card. So let's take a look at a demo here. If you're a first-time buyer, so you can't use our one-click checkout, this is the new checkout that you'll see. So we can take a quick review here. As soon as you enter your email address, we automatically capture it. We don't wait for the customer to submit the form. So this is huge in helping you capture abandoned carts. To put it more clearly, as soon as I enter my email in this field, without having to complete the form, my email is automatically captured and attached to this cart. We don't ask for your full name. Our system is smart enough to determine first and last names over 98% of the time. So this is easier for your customer than switching fields on their mobile device. We don't ask for a company. The address line 1 field for over 90% of customers is enough, but there is an option to add address line 2 if it's necessary. So let's enter a zip code here. We're going to enter 94558. When I enter this zip code, it automatically pulls the city and state, and it also slightly changes the form below. Because we don't require a birth date in California, we just ask if they're over 21. So no birth date to enter on a mobile phone. This is a lot cleaner than before. The streamlined checkout is available for Australia, Canada, America, and South Africa, our 4 biggest markets. We'll make it available in other countries as we grow. So while I'm in the demo here, I'm going to jump to the receipt page now. This is our new receipt page. It's smart enough to know that I don't have an account, and it asks me to create an account. It already has my name and email for my order, so it just needs a password. Best practice from Baymard research states that when we should have a small reason why a customer should create an account here. So we outline, want to ease your checkout, track your orders, and view past order history. Wineries constantly want to capture more data during checkout. Commerce7 has this great notion of metadata, which makes orders, customers, products, tons of other pieces of the platform all easily extensible. On the receipt, you can now use the Commerce7 form builder to ask additional questions. For example, how the customer heard of your brand, what their experience with wine is, if they've been to your tasting room or not, or any other question you could possibly come up with here. We feel the best place to ask these questions is on the receipt page, and so now you have the option of including the form builder on the receipt page. So let's continue our demo here and look at a number of other changes we're making. On the product list and detail pages, we have a new tag we'll have on by default that allows for liking and disliking a product. This will only show on a product if the customer if they have purchased that specific product before. It's going to help us understand a customer's preferences around the product. On the top right corner of the page, we've implemented this notification icon here. This will show when customers have an issue on their account, such as a credit card decline on a club. All throughout the page, if the customer is within 2 weeks of their next shipment, they can add items to their next shipment here. So let's jump to the profile area here. We've reorganized the tabs across the top a bit. We've surfaced the most important items on the dashboard, and we'll continue to make adjustments. If we go into the order screen here and drill into an order, you'll see we've enhanced things considerably. We've included a great map here, and we're working on some different carrier tracking with different fulfillment providers. Anything that we have will be surfaced here. So just to recap the changes we've made, we've significantly streamlined the guest checkout. You are now able to customize the receipt page with your own questions. We've added additional product layout tags. We've simplified the customer profile pages, and we've enhanced the historical order detail page. So in all of this, there's good news and bad news. All of these widgets are on our brand new front-end system. All of these changes will help drive conversion and help you create better customer experiences. We will need to work with your designer to help you migrate over to these. So for any designers watching, the first thing you'll want to do is call in a new JavaScript file, new CSS file. Depending on how much you've customized Commerce7, your designer may need to spend 2 to 4 hours restyling some of these features. This new JavaScript and CSS is being made available to a small set of partners and will be rolled out and available to everyone later this month. And don't worry, our new web and ecom tools are the most ADA compliant tools available on the market today. We're really excited about these changes. It may not seem like a big deal to knock a few fields off the checkout form, but with 23% of online shoppers claiming to have abandoned a cart because of too many fields in the checkout process, we know that these changes will have a powerful impact on driving your e-commerce sales. So the next big thing I want to talk about today has a lot to do with our APIs. Before we get into it, I want to showcase another partner here. So PJ Jones from Mallard & Claret, who actually used our APIs to custom build a unique admin panel that was tailored to the exact needs of one of our mutual European clients. So let's take a look at what PJ built here.
Hi guys, PJ here from London. Hope you're enjoying the live stream today. So I run a digital agency here in London called Mallard & Claret. We are an agency that designs, builds, supports and hosts websites of all shapes and sizes for a variety of clients in lots of different industries. We work with technology platforms such as WordPress, WooCommerce, Shopify, but this was our first time working with Commerce7 and I'm really excited to show you what we did. But first, a bit of information about our client, Burgundy's Collection, or BC. So BC is the creation of renowned French winemaker Olivier Bernstein, and it's an exclusive invite-only online wine community designed to distribute exceptional Burgundies in a manner that respects and protects the wine, the winemaker, and the drinker. So let's take a look, shall we?
So the site is split into 3 chapters. Chapter 1 is the public-facing website where users can learn about the brand, the values, the benefits of being a member, and ultimately apply for access to the exclusive gated section of the site. As soon as the user completes their application, this person will become visible in the custom extension panel that we built. Here, BC's site administrators can review, reject, and approve applications. They can also put users onto a waiting list for approval at a later date. As soon as a user is approved, their details are transferred over to Commerce7 via the C7 API, and a new customer is generated. This new customer will now receive a welcome email from BC with a link to view their first exclusive offer. This offer was also created in our custom extension panel, but again utilizing the Commerce7 API to pull in specific products that we want to show to new customers. At this point, they are still not a fully fledged member of the club. Only if they go through the complete purchase journey will they be converted into a member. Now that I've completed a purchase, I now have access to my digital seller. My order has been processed in the background using the Commerce7 API, and all my order details can be found on the Commerce7 dashboard. We are also pulling data from Commerce7 too, so that users can see their wines in their cellar, complete with purchase dates, vintage, and availability timings, since these wines won't be available for shipping for at least 3 years from the date of purchase.
So guys, as you can see, we were able to use the Commerce7 API to create a completely custom solution for our client with several unique features. Thanks to Commerce7's complete flexibility and features like the customer and order management, collections and allocations, we were able to create a highly customized private wine club for our client in a little under 2 months from start to finish.
All right, thanks PJ. Really cool to see what your team is doing with our APIs. So our last major announcement of the day is the Commerce7 Dev Center. So this gets a little technical, and we invite our partners to stay on for an additional live stream as we have our first ever partner day here at Commerce7. What I'm going to do right now is give you the winery version of this. So every week, our APIs are being called over 4.7 million times. We've been working really hard to keep our system performant and fast. Many of our competitors are built on legacy technology and use SOAP-based services. On these legacy platforms, you ask for 50 orders and they brag that they can get it back to you in about 1 second. But then to get the details of each order, you have to make 50 more calls. That's roughly 1 minute to get 50 orders. In comparison, Commerce7 is built on modern infrastructure, and when you ask for 50 orders, it's averaging 86 milliseconds, and you get all the details compared to that 1 minute on other platforms. Our APIs are world-class, they're performant, and furthermore, they're extensive. We have over 700 API endpoints. We use the same APIs our partners use, and it's allowed our partners to build some great things. Integrations with Nav, QuickBooks, Vintrace, Shippo, MailChimp, and so many others. We're seeing custom reports done by Juicebox Direct and WinePulse. We see custom code being done by some of our partners here today. We were absolutely amazed when PJ built his own admin panel on Commerce7. As great as all of this is, there's one problem that's bothered us. Wineries want custom reports right inside Commerce7. They want things like loyalty and other customizations to show right within the platform. They want to be able to have access to these integrations deep inside Commerce7, and they want customized workflows in the platform. So today, we're unveiling our answer to these requests, the Commerce7 Dev Center. This allows your developers to build a report right inside Commerce7. This allows your developers to put a card right on a customer record in Commerce7. This allows your developers to add a tab and put something like a loyalty app right in the platform. This allows your developers to put something in the POS screen, like a guest counter. This even allows your developers to add a custom export right in the platform. So let's take one last demo here. Oops. So for this demo, we need a bit of imagination here. Imagine a third party developed a loyalty app, and you as a winery wanted that loyalty app right inside Commerce7. We've gone out to Wineworks and we've asked them to build a fake loyalty app. So let's show you how this fake loyalty app could work here. The Dev Center is very real, but this app is fake. So I can go to the App Store here and I can see this app. I click on the app. I can read about it. The app asks me some questions before installation. I read about security access, webhooks, what it's going to do in the admin panel, and finally the cost. I enter a key and I click install here. I go to a customer now and I can see the loyalty app start to show. So just pull up my customer record here. First, it shows on the customer cards. I can see that Zach has 4,000 and some loyalty points, and I can see that without going into a third-party app. A developer can add a tab to the customer here. So Wineworks added this tab here. I can click on the loyalty tab, and if I click it, it brings in loyalty information from this third-party app. I can click on more actions up top here, and I can click on the loyalty app again. You can see it starts to show here, and I can add points to the customer here. If we jump over to reports, you'll see that there's also now a custom loyalty rewards report here. So if I click on this, I can see details from this third-party app right inside Commerce7. So we're going to spend the entire day here with our partners to show them how to build apps and how to do some great things inside Commerce7 with the Dev Center. As a winery, you should know this is bleeding edge stuff. So 3 things to know here. First, the Dev Center will allow a developer to plug their tools right into Commerce7 on the POS, in the admin panel, and in reservations. We have so many wineries wanting different customizations and custom reports and other things, and we think this is going to be a great solution to those requests. Secondly, the Dev Center allows for an improved security model. In the past, you typically allowed our partners access to a lot of your data. But if you ask a partner to build an integration that only interacts with orders, why should they access everything? The new Dev Center has a brand new security model, and you can now limit what developers have access to. Finally, the Dev Center is available to our clients and partners today. There's a lot we're going to be doing with the Dev Center over the next year, but these tools are ready and available here today. So I want to bring up 2 key things before I close here. First, if you're on the West Coast in North America, I want to invite you to join us during our DTC tour. We're hosting a series of free educational roadshows in California, Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia. These events are based around educating winery owners and staff on new innovations, insights, and best practices in the DTC industry. We have 20 awesome guest speakers who will be in 9 different cities. You can register for an event near you at dtctour.com. Second, I want to bring up our mission again. Our mission as a company is to enable businesses around the world, regardless of size, to succeed by empowering them with the digital tools they need to create great customer-centric shopping experiences. We're going to continue to push international. We're going to continue to fight for small wineries. All features and functionality on our platform will always be available to all wineries, regardless of size. And we're going to continue to focus on the end user's experience, which we believe will translate into the greatest tangible benefit for your business. So we're a small team, we're growing fast, and we believe that working with our partners will help us grow your business. So today, we looked at how we're reinventing clubs, how we're reimagining the web, especially the checkout, and how we're re-engineering to work better with developers. We're really excited about everything we're doing here. So Commerce7 Live is officially ended. I know that Andrew's going to continue this live stream and do the Partner Day kickoff live for partners who couldn't attend in person today. So you're welcome to stay. They're going to be going over some crazy things you might want to watch. So here's Andrew to kick off Partner Day.
Are we good? Awesome. Thanks, Zach. That was amazing. So good morning. Welcome to our next event, Partner Day. My name is Andrew Campus, and I'm in charge of the product at Commerce7. I heard from Zach that they didn't want some old guy talking at C7 Live anymore, so I had to create my own special event to deal with the FOMO. This is our first ever Partner Day. If you're a winery, you're welcome to stay on for the next 20 minutes or so. Some of it might get a bit technical, but you're going to see some amazing things our partners are doing and amazing things that our partners are going to be able to do. Today, we're going to talk a lot more about that Dev Center that you saw from Zach. We're going to get a demo of it. You're going to see a lot of live demos this afternoon here. We're going to build a report. We're going to go deep into it. We're going to talk a lot more about that front end that Zach demoed for you too, and how you as a designer could take advantage of that. But before we start, I want to take a quick recap and look at some of the things our partners have done in 2019. Emitree. You know, you pull our data, run this through some deep analysis, and split out some amazing data and reports. The reports I saw from you last summer were amazing. Now you have this thing called the dosing point, being able to see where customers stop purchasing along their journey and be able to act on it. And I'm really excited how we're working together. Mallard and Claret. You know, PJ built his own admin panel on Commerce7, and that was amazing. Tree Frog Digital, I'm glad you're here today, Pablo. You have so many apps that you've built on our system in the last year, helping me with the Dev Center. That was great, and all of that. Premier Sellers, I'm glad you're here today too. It's really, really cool. This guy is pushing all of the emails from Premier Seller back in the Commerce7 with opens and clickbacks right on the customer record, and that's cool. Wine Pulse, one of our newest partners, and all the dashboards that they're bringing to our system. It used to be Vin dashboards, it's now Wine Pulse. Highway 29, that shopping feed, that's really cool. Being able to get products out of Commerce7 right into Facebook and Google, that's amazing. Dash, Christy Taft builds these incredible dashboards as well. It's awesome to see how many dashboard companies have come up lately and are doing some great stuff. Wineglass Marketing, Dan, thanks for coming out today. We love your QuickBooks integration and your MailChimp integration that you've done. Vin Tools, sorry he couldn't be here today, but Jared's doing some great things also in MailChimp. AmCam Group, they're pulling data out of Commerce7 and dumping it into Navision, and it's awesome. SellerPass, here we have Jonathan, who also couldn't be here today, but he has a competing reservation system with us. Yet he pushes reservations back into Commerce7. So if you're someone like Robert Madavi, you could see your reservations right from SellerPass inside Commerce7. Wineworks, Pete, 60 websites in the last year. That's amazing when I heard that. You know, Astra Digital, they have some great stuff with us. Luna Bean Media, also some nice stuff. Gorillion, great designs. Vin Agency, Vinbound Marketing, 4 Parts Design, Tin Sheets Consulting. Fine, we are fine. This is a great site, the Cervantes site. Wine the Web. Somehow you missed Brian Crick. It's all good. I'm probably missing a few more people here. If you built a website with us and I miss your name, Zach's in charge of complaints, so email Zach at commerce7.com. So 2019 was a great year. We're a small team and we're so excited that you've chosen to work with us and that you're here. You're definitely making us look good. And we're so excited about what you've done. So let's jump into Partner Day. Well, first thing I want to talk about, API speed, right? As Zach mentioned, we're closing in on 5 million API calls a week. If you look at our traffic through 2019, it grew enormously. You guys are hitting our APIs really hard. And as Zach mentioned, we're working hard to make our APIs performant. Our API response time is averaging under 100 milliseconds. That's 10 times faster than some of those legacy SOAP systems out there. You call our API endpoint, you receive 50 orders, full orders. You don't have to make secondary calls. This is all great, but it comes at a cost. You're hitting our system. We're responding as fast as we can, but we also sometimes throttle your connection. Today, we limit you to 100 calls a minute per tenant per user. We do this to protect our system, but sometimes it's frustrating to you. It's frustrating to me because I use the same API endpoints that you use. So here's our first announcement. Today, as of today, calling our APIs for getting orders, customers, club memberships, and products, there's no more throttle. We're asking you to change the API endpoint slightly, so you got to change your URL slightly. There's no payload change, no throttle pulling on this, and all of this is in our documentation as of last night. So hopefully this helps you guys here for anyone that doesn't want to be throttled anymore. I know I'm going to appreciate that. Second thing around speed I want to announce is that sometime later this year, our API points, which are already fast, are going to get blazing fast. The most common APIs that you call today, settings, products, customers. When you request a single object, we're going to have a 10 millisecond turnaround time. In fact, we're already doing that on our settings. So look for that. It's going to get even faster. We're putting this out there in a caching layer. And the final announcement I want to make is a bit of an anti-announcement. This afternoon, as partners, you're going to hear about the future of our APIs. You're going to hear about some GraphQL and a few other items. But we want to announce that the current version of our APIs is here to stay for at least one more year, so no forced upgrades. 2019, a new version of our APIs was launched, and we're so thankful to every one of you, and you've all migrated to our new API endpoints. It took 6 months for some of you, it took a long time for others, and we know this comes at a real cost, and it takes time. Well, 2020 is going to bring a lot of change at Commerce7. You're going to see new versions of our APIs and some GraphQL and some other things, but the APIs you're using today will work for at least one more year. So let's do a quick recap. No throttles on key API endpoints, right? products, club memberships, customers, orders, but you'll need to change your URL slightly. Version 1 of our APIs will be around for at least 1 more year. Oh, no, key single objects call it 10 milliseconds. So the objects that you call to get a product on a page, 10 milliseconds to get that back. And no forced upgrades in 2020, right? So let's change. Let's go to the Dev Center. I know all of you guys want to see a bit of a demo here. So we're going to spend a bunch of time talking about the front end, but before we get to that, let's talk about the Dev Center. As Zach mentioned, wineries love that we have these open APIs and that partners like yourselves can access the data they need. However, wineries ask if they could have these applications right inside our admin panel. So let's say you're a partner and you want to build a report or that loyalty app. Like, wouldn't it be nice to see the loyalty points like Zach demoed right on the customer? Or let's say a winery pays you to build a custom report. Wouldn't it be great to have that right inside the admin panel? So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a little bit of a free-form demo. Zach's practiced this a lot more than I have. So let's go take a demo. I'll figure this out. All right, here we go. So this isn't quite rehearsed like Zach's. Let's start first, though. I want to start off looking at that customer record briefly that Zach had. So let's pull up Zach here. I just want to talk exactly how this works. So you as a partner, you build this application, you host it on your servers. We then bring it into Commerce7 via an iframe. So when I click on this loyalty tab here, it's actually bringing an iframe from WineWorks over into our system. We pass data between Commerce7 and your iframe via the window post message protocol. All the iframes that we pass are completely secure. All the data that we're going back and forth with is completely secure, and we pass you this security context. So in this instance, we pass you the customer ID, the tenant ID, and the security context around that. We're asking you to put a piece of JavaScript on your application, which will allow you to receive these messages. Our JavaScript also handles everything like iframe resizing, responsiveness, and making this completely mobile friendly. I know you guys don't want to see a whole lot of that, so let's go to the Dev Center itself. So the Dev Center is at dev-center.platform.commerce7.com, and this is the new Dev Center. When you get here we're on the home page. You can log into this with your existing Commerce7 credentials, right? Here on the home page, you can see a few things. There's links to our API documentation. There's links to our app documentations. Jason, thanks for getting all of that up yesterday. That was awesome. In the middle here, we could begin to create a new app. And then down below here, you could see the apps that I've already created. We saw the loyalty app that Peter created earlier. He's linked me to. I've also created our Gliding Eagle app and Cool Wines app are already running off our new Dev Center in our own. So we're using our own dog food here. So let's go into this loyalty app and take a look at that because we saw this demo from Zach. At the top of the screen here, I could see a little bit about the app. I could see the developer. I could see the support email, the marketing email. I could see this notion of an app secret and password. You could read in our documentation around that, but that's how you're going to access our APIs, right? I can see on the right-hand side that I have 2 wineries that have installed this app. I guess one's you, Pete, and one's us, right? And I could see that we have recurring revenue of $40. Below that, let's delete one of these versions. Below that, I could see multiple versions in here. Each app could have multiple versions. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a version, and then once it's published, it's frozen in time. And every time you want to change the security or change new things, you actually have to publish a new version. So let's actually go create a new version here. So when I go create a new version, very first thing that comes up is, do we want to charge our customers a setup fee? A monthly fee? We could have a free trial for X number of days. So let's say that we're going to have a $30 monthly fee and we're going to have a 30-day free trial. And we'll just hit continue. The way this works is that Commerce7 is going to handle the billing for you. We're going to handle the currency conversion because we have people using Commerce7 all around the world. So we'll handle all of that for you. We'll handle the decline credit cards for you, handle all the payments for you. And for that, we take a 20% cut and you guys get 80% of the money. As we go down this page here, we need to clean this up a little bit, but we have this notion of having an installation URL. Some of you guys have apps with us today, and you like to be notified when someone installs your application, right? Sometimes you have extra variables that you want to collect. So let's go create an activation and deactivation URL. So I could just simply come in here and have an activation URL, whatever I want to have that to be. I could have a deactivation URL, be notified when someone uninstalls my application. I could have a username and password on these URLs, which will do basic auth coming over to us. I could add setup variables. Some of you guys today create different applications on our system and you like to collect different data. You might have, like on Pablo has this Shippo application and he needs to know the API key. So we could come in here and we could ask people, hey, what's your Shippo API key or whatever my app needs? And we could create a code around that. And this works a lot like metadata, but I could collect integers or strings or different things. I could also make it force required or not. As we scroll down the page here, we have our C7 API permissions. So we want you to go out and ask for permission for people to use your app now. You saw that when that app was installed on the backend system, we're going to tell the winery what exactly they're giving you permission for. So you could come on here, and this is pretty granular. So you could go on here and you want to build an order report. You're going to ask for that you want to have permission for orders and you want to have permission to read. If you're building something like loyalty, you'd want to read orders, but you might want to be able to modify customers. So in this case, you'd take customers and you'd say that you want to have full permissions, create, read, edit, delete. Webhooks, right? In the Dev Center, you could create webhooks. So let's go create a webhook on here. So we'll just want to get notified every time that an order comes into the system. Update. And we'll create a webhook like that. In the past, this was a little bit painful. You guys would create webhooks in the system and wineries would be able to delete these webhooks on you, or they'd be able to change them on you. It's happened a few times on that MailChimp, some of the MailChimp integrations and stuff. When you create this webhook, when the application's installed, it automatically creates that webhook over on that winery. The winery cannot delete that webhook unless they uninstall the application. As soon as they uninstall your application, the webhook comes off that. The final thing on this screen here is you have the C7 admin panel and POS extensions. And here we could add a new extension. So you could look at where your application can plug in all through Commerce7. So it could be on the order list, order detail page, customer list, customer detail, all of that. So I could say I want to have my application on a customer detail page. And from here I could go, I want to hit, it'll know that I could put something on the context menu. That's a little menu that you drop down at the top. It could have a tab menu iframe. You saw that where we put the loyalty app on there. Or it could have a customer card. You saw it come up on the customer with a card. So you could have as many extensions as you want on here. When I'm done with my version and I've created it and I've tested it all out and I'm really happy with it, what I do is I come over to the published versions and I go submit for approval. And what this will do is this will submit the application to Commerce7. We will get notified of your application and then it's on us to approve it. As soon as we approve it, it'll show up inside our admin panel for wineries to be able to install it. Let's go take a look at a few other screens on here. We do have an account screen, so if you have multiple people or multiple developers, just like the admin panel, you can invite them to the Commerce7 Dev Center. We have payments. Every time we charge for your app, it'll actually show up on here. So you could get, I know right now with your Zapier app, sometimes we don't know who gets paid where, right? So all the payments, every time we charge for your app, it shows up on here. And finally, we could see the tenants or who's installed this app. So we could see, this is on the Spectra Winery on Wineworks site. That's who's using the loyalty app here today. So let's switch back out of this demo and let's go back to our screen share here for a second. So that's the Dev Center. It's live. All the documentation is up. We're sure there's going to be a lot of changes and other things happening, but we really want you guys as partners to start playing with it. So let's just do a quick review. You can embed apps deep inside Commerce7 and the POS. You could charge for your app. Commerce7 does take a 20% cut, but we handle all the billing, we handle everything for you. And the winery controls the security at a more granular level. So that's the Dev Center. It's live, documentation's up, and we're really excited about it. Let's go on to talk about the next thing. Let's talk about the front end and the new front end that Zach demoed. So running a software company is pretty interesting. We want to push the bar, but when we do, it requires change. For some of you, for some things, we can make changes without anyone knowing about it. When we first launched a year and a half ago, our platform used MongoDB as a database. Today, we use Aurora and DynamoDB. There's no more Mongo inside the stack. Nobody knows. Our front-end platform, our admin panel, was all built using CSS style sheets. And now we converted it 100% to style components, and nobody knows. Our current code looks so much different than a year ago. As Zach mentioned, 1.6 million lines of code. But for other changes, like moving our APIs forward or moving the front end forward, we need to work with our partners. We need a new version. And this requires some courage. You know, some of the legacy companies out there stay on these data technologies because they're afraid that if they make their partners or their customers change, their partners or their customers might leave. And it might be true in some cases. So I want to thank you guys here today, and thank you anyone who's listening for moving forward with us on our APIs. I also want to thank you in advance for having the courage to use our new front end, right? There's a lot of things the same, and there's a few things that are different. So let's talk about a number of those features. First, it's fully ADA compliant, right? Through and through. We believe it's the most ADA compliant of all the platforms out there. We're using the area tags, we have events on the form fields, proper use of buttons, links, etc. through there. Obviously, you guys saw a new checkout today. We're really excited about that, right? We have a new receipt page. We often get a lot of questions from people wanting to add something during the checkout flow. We're not willing to allow someone to have access through the checkout flow, but we are going to give you the option to ask questions on the receipt page. Some of you know that we use Google Tag Manager throughout our app. We're really excited that Jeremy's here today from Honey Bear. Hey, you were missing on the partner slides too, Zach. And this afternoon, we're going to be really great to see some stuff he's doing with Google Tag Manager. If you're watching the API calls happening on Commerce7, you realize that Commerce7 logs a lot of activity too. And we've now opened up this event code to you. So there's event tracking. You can listen for key events inside our system, such as an item added to cart, and you could fire a callback on that. So you could use the window event listener to listen for that. Let's say you want a dynamic message like what Tasting Merchant demoed there. You know, they spent a lot of work doing that and just got a whole lot easier. So thank you, Simon. All right. You can now listen to the event and then fire something based on that. Right? In the product area, we're working more on filtering, sorting, searching. These tags are because of conversations that we've had with Wineworks and Highway 29 Creative. So we're really excited about those. The final thing I want to talk about is source code. When we went 100% API based, I always imagined that designers would rebuild our front end, and they'd probably do a better job than us, right? I was pleasantly surprised when we saw PJ rebuild an admin panel on our system. We have this core value at Commerce7 that reads default to open. It reads default to open. Be open with employees, be open with customers, be open with partners, be transparent. We're not quite ready to put all our front-end code on a public repository on GitHub quite yet, but I do want to say the code is available to you as a partner for free just for reaching out. We'll give you access to our GitHub repository. In the last year, we've given our code to Wineworks and to Tree Frog, who have both improved it and made pull requests. We've given our front-end code to Harlan Estates, who has then forked it and built their own front-end. We gave our code to Burgundy Collection, who also forked it and built their own custom system. We give our front-end code right now, we give all of our code to our partners in the cannabis space, and they've customized the checkout and done a few other things there. If you're a designer and you want our code because you want to do something crazy with it, we're happy to give it to you. Or if you just want to make a pull request, we'd be happy to have a pull request. It's all in React. It's meant for doing these widget-based integrations and stuff, but we want to work with our partners with our code. Last thing today, I want to close here today. We're going to have a whole day here, but I want to close the live stream today with my favorite core value. Of our 5 core values at Commerce7, my favorite core value is push the bar. It reads push the bar, raise the standard, do more than expected, try something new even if you fail, move fast. So I'm really excited about how our partners have pushed the bar, how you guys are pushing the bar, and we appreciate everything that you're doing. We want to help you succeed, so let's continue to push the bar. Thank you. And if you're watching on the live stream, thank you very much. We appreciate it. You could clap if you want.